All right. Well, hey, everybody. It is Gutter Live time, and we got the gang back together, all the boys of Gutter School. And last time this was epic. Last time we went for almost 3 hours, and it was pretty darn cool. Had a blast. This week, we're like, hey, you know what? We need to like get together every 5, 6 weeks, something like that. And so we decided to get together this week. So, Frank, Kyle, Seth, what is going on, fellas? How y'all
Guys,
doing?
how we doing?
Just having fun working.
I love this. It's like deja vu.
I know. I can't believe you're here. I can't believe you're here.
I'm so excited.
So this is something we want to do routinely. I mean, this is the Gutter School team. We're doing a lot of things behind the scenes. I like getting us together, although, Colin and I are hustling, trying to bring in really interesting guests. I find you two highly interesting. So,
Most of the time.
yeah, and so to get the synergy in this group is phenomenal. So I like doing this. And obviously with Gutter School, we're all jazzed up and putting together coursework and we're looking at the world differently, right? So I'm sure there's been some interesting things over the course of this week. It's only Thursday, but I had an interesting week. I'm sure you guys all did too. It might be fun to talk about something that popped up this week. And we all have different perspectives on life and on business. I'm sure there's going to be no crossover on stories and shares. So maybe we do a round robin and everybody take a turn and tell us the big doings for the week.
I vote Seth.
Let's go.
I feel like
I vote
happened already. Yeah. So we're doing a big, giant. I say giant, really good size copper half round job this week, and
yeah, we all know. We all know. We see it.
yeah, we're filming all the little bits of it for Gutter School as well. So, like you'll get to see the behind the scenes of everything, and then we're breaking it down into pieces.
Awesome.
But I got a lot of messages privately about the Z flashing that I was using on this
Yes, you
job.
did. There was a lot of buzz about that.
Well, this is kind of killing a bunch of birds with one stone. Just today, someone posted on one of the forums that they were having trouble with a builder because they were pulling drip edge to get half round behind it.
Saw that post.
If you're going to put half round behind a drip edge, you're going to have to pull it really hard. There's like no other way to get it back there. And no matter what kind of hangers you use, you're going to have a gap between the back of your gutter and the fascia board. Stamped hangers have the least gap, but there's still a gap for water to get back behind it. I like strong bag hangers.
Yeah.
But you do still have that 3/8 inch gap behind the gutter. This particular customer was very adamant that she did not want to look up behind the gutter and see daylight. And that brings me to kind of my workaround for all of that is to do a counter flashing. And this Z, I'm trying to find my camera
We
here.
gotta get you some
What does she have for drip edge? Aluminum drip?
There's no drip edge. So the roof is brand new. I'm actually working with the roofer on this job. And I told him to leave off the drip edge because he wanted me to make a drip edge for him and then make a counter flash. And I said, just leave it off, do your roof, give me an ice and water shield at the end, seal it down good, and then let me make a one-piece flashing for the end.
That
So
was my
we all want
question.
to know we all want to know how you're securing it. That because everybody tries to pull off a retrofit drip edge. How are you fastening?
So some people are going to throw tomatoes and some people aren't. And there's no way around that.
It's a good one.
I wanted this one to be face mount. And I wanted it face mount for a reason. I wanted a good seal. I want that ice and water shield down at the end of the decking because I don't want loose underlayment or anything right there. I'm not a big fan of like lifting shingles, especially high enough to get any sort of fastener
Yeah,
underneath them.
not a good idea.
I just don't like it. I hate it when we're on a job where we have to do that, and you go and tear a shingle, it's just
we don't do it anymore.
it's just not cool. So I talked with this roofer, and I was like, "Here's what I want to do." They approved everything,
Wow.
but this particular house, I don't know if you guys come across this a lot, but the fascia board doesn't go all the way up to the decking. And so this particular house has like an 1.5 inch gap in some places and no gap in other places.
So your gutters are all set low.
Yes, and it's already an 8-inch fascia board. So
let's see that Z flash.
Hold on. How does that? Is this a new house or is it old?
No, it's an old house.
Okay.
This happens from like.
That makes sense. Like on an older house, that makes sense. I see that.
Yeah, but it's corners that were cut, and so the house was redecked and refasciated at some point, probably in the last 15, 20 years. Because the house has OSB decking, and for the age of the house, that's not original. But at some point, someone didn't want to buy 1x10 and cut an inch of it off, so they just put 1x8 on, and then it's just kind of. This time they put 1x8 again, but that's 7.25 of whitewood, so you just got this huge gap.
Did the roofer cover the gap with the ice and water?
No, they didn't cover the gap.
I wish the water is to bridge the seam between the top of the fascia and the plywood decking. Obviously, you protect the plywood deck as well, but it's that gap, that connection, that's the critical point.
And this is, I was telling someone on the group earlier, like this is not an ideal setup, but this is
right.
I went around with him and
hey, you got to do what you got to do, right?
There's also
like you have snow and ice building up in your country like we do up here. So
a lot of things too that y'all need to remember is that there's not a lot of code in Texas.
Yeah, almost none. Like drip edge is code in
major cities.
Yes, but it's not even enforced in most of those cities. Where even in cities where they have recently added it as code, there is no one enforcing it. And so it's like a bragging point for a couple of roofers, but that's it.
Yeah. No, seriously, it's crazy, man. I mean, even in Austin, the only thing that's really code enforced is like HVAC electricians, plumbers. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Florida gutter guys who have to deal with, glued down shingles not penetrating flashing and all kind of stuff. We don't have any of that.
No.
Which I'm all in favor of, but it does mean that you end up in situations like this where you got to come up
points.
The backlash of it, right? It's now you deal with shoddy work and
right.
Fit.
So one of the things that I'm always doing with my hat cam is I mount it. Let's say it's a normal standard house. I hang below the drip edge and then come back with a counter flash and just slide it up behind the existing drip edge and then down over the hangers into the gutter. I don't necessarily always make that. I did one recently out of gutter coil. I even did it out of O3 because that's what I had. Completely unnecessary. It's all you need to do is get a roll of siding trim coil. Much easier to bin, way cheaper.
I go a little heavier because I'm in New England, but I agree. Like we use O3 for gutter coil. That it's certainly too heavy, and then you're fighting the damn thing the whole way, because if the roof is all over the place, and you have a real rigid piece of Z flashing, it's O3 or heavier. Forget it. I mean, everything has to be plumb and square to pull that off.
It just sucks to bend. It sucks to bend O3 on a
you need
standard siding brake.
Right. Do you have a brake on site, Seth, or are you doing this with like a 2x4 or just by hand?
Oh no, we've got brakes.
I mean on a normal occasion, not this one here specifically, but whenever you do it with
oil. I'll carry a 10-foot Tapco, and then just make everything on site.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
How many cams do you have on your Tapco? I have more cams than you do.
I've got the cheap old green one with 5. Like, if you're doing trim coil, you don't need much. When we do O3 I have a partnership with a metal building manufacturer with 21-foot brakes, so I just bring them material and they bend anything for me from my drawings.
Sweet.
Oh, it's killer.
But getting back to this Z flashing, one of the things you can do with your counter flashing is add a support for your leaf guard. So half round is really hard to put leaf guard on
Yeah.
in the first place. You have very few options, and you have, especially with cradle hangers, you have no support. So
How much of the gutter mouth are you eating up with that shelf?
so we're eating up about, we have a 2-inch, where's my camera?
Okay.
We have 2 inches going into the gutter, so that's 1.5 inches that it kind of covers the gutter, kind of, but not really, because my leaf guard.
Yeah, you got plenty.
Gotta find this angle. So I'm bending my leaf guard down like that, and then holding it off of there. So I want that little bit of angle across the top of the gutter, and I now have a nice heavy shelf that we can attach to. And
how are you securing on the backside?
well, this is one of the things that we're going to. This is where some people are going to throw tomatoes, but you come.
I don't have any produce, so don't worry.
So at the end of each one of these 3-foot sections, we're going to. This is so hard because I'm backwards with this webcam. We're going to mount. Oh my goodness! Through the leaf guard and through the flashing to our face
from below.
Oh goodness!
From below. Right. So you don't see any fasteners from above,
and then pull it down.
Right, but then every 3 foot.
That's you're securing the flashing to the fascia
and the leaf guard at the same time.
All in one shot. Gotcha.
Right. And then we'll use copper screws on that with washers. It's
all right. You're kind of tomato proof. I mean,
I don't see a problem in the way you're installing it.
Some people are going to throw tomatoes just because it's face mounted, but like I also have 1.5 inch shingle overlap. They didn't cut me short, so. It's not,
by face mounting, which a lot of people. I use washers and gaskets. That's the only way I'll use a screw, a wood grip screw. But you are staying away from that giant finger pointing dilemma between you and the roofer, because if something happens in a year, it's going to be a big battle. So it's just so smart to not mess with that first course, the starter course. Anything tears or cracks with any of that starter or first course, it's your ass.
Well, I also I've got a good relationship with this roofer, and we spend a lot of time talking to homeowners about their specific situation and how we're mounting and everything too. So we don't left field any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they got to come home yesterday and see a 1 foot sample of how everything's working, how everything cascades.
May I add one design point? And who am I? Who am I? I would put, and we do this with a situation like that, and I've done this many times, a little kick on that, like a little nose. So you bend everything back, and so you have this little hem that projects out on your top.
Here down. No, as a water kick
at the top.
Up here.
Yeah, no, the other corner, the outside corner, right where you are at the top.
Okay.
Go up.
Right
there, you have a hem, and you project out a 1/2 inch, and you could actually bend it on like a 45 or so, and that is your drip, and now nothing's hitting the screws.
Yes, we could.
It's man, you're so fancy. Frank.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not a big fan of
my head.
I'm not a big fan of tea, but I do understand it. Yet, and we could definitely do that. I have a 1.5 inch shingle overhang right now.
All right, so it's heavy.
So I'm not worried about.
You're going to be dry for sure.
Yeah, I'm not worried about water in this situation. But if you do, let's say you have a 1 inch shingle overhang, definitely go with the T at the top.
Yeah.
That way you actually have a fixed point to drip from.
Well, and the flip side of the T is that aesthetically she may not like it. The homeowner might not like it because now you're seeing this. It's just like a standing seam that's coming out vertically.
Right.
It destroys that clean look. So
right. It also holds your shingles up and keeps them from drooping. So it's a mixed bag, but I think
those shingles are only going to droop at 1.5 inches. I mean, they're going to start to curl a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a big, heavy 7-layer or maybe 5-layer lifetime shingle. So it's a big beefy shingle.
Substantial.
And then they're gonna Everbright this whole thing whenever we're all done.
Awesome. How many feet is that job?
350, I think.
Hardy. It's a nice job, dude.
Right.
Very nice.
Yep.
Well, it's looking beautiful. I mean, everybody sees you. Dude, you're like on fire on Facebook. I mean, I can't catch fire on my own damn Facebook group. You're over here with 4,000 views the last time I checked, and that was like at lunchtime when I was driving. I'm like, oh, look at this guy, Mr. Important over here. Unbelievable.
That's just what happens when you talk a lot.
No, you do beautiful work, and that's why you're part of this crew, right? And you're on fire, dude. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. That work looks amazing.
Right.
Well, who's next?
Good.
Oh.
Like roulette, right?
Yeah. I think that means it's Kyle that's next.
That's fine. I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm here. That's what we're here for.
Do it.
Cool. Hey guys, Kyle Greer, Austin, Texas here. The sales guy, right?
Sales guy.
So, yeah, how are y'all doing today? Y'all having a good day?
Yes, Professor.
I got my glasses on. Do they make me look smarter?
Honestly, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, right? I feel like Peabody and Sherman, bro.
Your wife picked the right frame for you. She really did.
Yeah.
Dude, these are legit, right? They're Giorgio Armani.
Glasses, buddy.
Hey, the glasses, I literally, like, before I looked, I was like, I saw just your face, and I was like, do we got Ben Conowitz on today? Because all I saw was the glasses, and he's like the glasses dude in the gutter.
Oh, that's funny.
It is, right? Yeah.
Sorry.
Shout out to Ben if you're listening. Hope you're well, man.
What's up, Ben?
So,
Who am I glad before I came up here because they glare too much on the camera.
Oh, sorry.
No, they look good.
This
week, carry on, my friend.
Man, we had our big rain for the year. We had a couple of really good wins. We have a mark to hit where we get about 100 leads a month, and so far this month we've already gotten 40. Monday was huge. We got like 22 leads in one day. We had that big rain that Seth was talking about, and it was awesome. So we've been trying to do that. Got a new salesperson coming in on Monday. She's going to start training, and she's coming in from the roofing industry and solar and all that. So she's going to come in part-time and see what we can, what kind of feathers we can rattle. Yeah, so a couple things happened this week. We had a customer that messaged us. We were referred to them on Facebook, and they, sales is always overcoming some kind of objection or, getting over hurdles and finding a way around it. And this lady, she specifically messaged me and said, here's my footage, here's my corners, here's my downspouts. This is what we have. What's the price? Yeah. And I said, I understand, ma'am. We will come out and do an assessment. And she goes, nope, absolutely not. I had a bad experience where somebody made me feel uncomfortable in my own home. So we're
Karen.
We're not having anybody come to my house. They were trying to high pressure us, and it was uncomfortable. And what do you do to that? It's like, well, I'm not gonna. You're telling me that you didn't like these people, but you want me to give you a bid with their numbers. I don't know who they are, and we all measure differently, and we all order differently, and I don't do that. I won't use Eagle View or any of that stuff. I need to be on site. I need to measure it because I need to know what offsets I need, what elbows I need, what miter strips, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so she goes, well, then I'm sorry we can't do business. And I said, well, what if we did something like this? What if we scheduled a time for us to come out? You don't have to talk to us. You don't have to worry about being high pressured. Feel free to look at my reviews. We're at almost 200 5-star reviews.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, right. And I'll send you a video explaining how we install it. And you can make your decision that way. You don't even have to talk to me. We'll measure it. We'll do it. And if you like everything you see, then there it is.
Did you tell her that COVID's over? It's been a few years now.
Dude, do y'all remember that? Pitching through screen doors and stuff? That was crazy.
COVID is like a couple years ago, man.
Pitching through screen doors had its pros and cons. You didn't have to go into stinky houses, but
I like
it was
the
it
strategy,
was
though.
weird.
I mean, that's brilliant, and
Yeah.
with good, if you have good video, right? That's like
Yeah.
a sneaky, smart way to get that video in her hands, and then
Yeah.
the video of itself should win her over, right? I mean,
Absolutely, because in the video there, and that's the thing that we always do. We educate over pressure. When we go talk to a customer, we just tell them exactly how we do things. And even when they start talking about other people, we just go into talking about how we do things. I'm not here to push anybody else's process or talk about their business. I just tell them, look, this is how we do it. This is why we do it that way. And Seth can attest to this. There is no code in Texas, like we were talking about earlier. So whenever we talk about having insurance and we talk about installing properly, I mean, I can go install gutters in Connecticut or Michigan or California or Canada with the way that we do things here, because that's the only way I was taught.
Yeah.
And
you know what I'm
nobody
curious to
knows
know?
that.
What was the lead source on her? Where did she come from?
Facebook. She got, so on Facebook, I have a very big network of people that are roofers, electricians, plumbers. God bless you.
Thank you.
Everybody and anybody. So they're in all these, Round Rock Facebook, Liberty Hill Facebook, Cedar Park, Austin, what have you. So when somebody says, "Hey, I need a gutter guy," you'll see my name pop up about 15 times, and they're like, "Oh, Kyle's the best. Call Kyle. Texas Gutter Guys. Eric's awesome. Yada yada yada." And then there'll be one for somebody else, or somebody's trying to throw their own name in there, and all I put in there is a website and say we'd be more than happy to assess your situation.
So I belong to a couple of these local community groups. What I find, and I nailed it. I called her a Karen. She's a Karen. What happens on these community groups? It's the same thing, right? So my name gets dropped the same way, and it'll 5 people will chime in, then somebody else chimes in and throws the other. Then actually, drainage is the only thing I really compete on. Gutters, I'm the only guy, oddly, in my town for the most part. But it's like this battle, right? Oh no, my guy, and then 3 guys chime in and say Kyle. But the people that take suggestions on those groups, I find are wonky people. They're just creepos. They
I don't use Angie's List.
They're like, they always have these caveats and like rules of engagement, and like it's just way too much. Like, get over yourself. I don't get it. I don't get it with these groups. They're like,
as long as their money's green, brother.
No, I do. I like your.
I started a phrase several years back,
bitching,
specifically for aggregators, that not all money is the same color green.
You're right.
No, hundreds are blue now.
You're right. So where are you going with this? You think? I mean, you probably don't think you have too great of a shot, but
I mean, why not?
Nobody does. This is what the game she plays in life. It's
the beautiful thing is that most people, that are going to come out and do those bids, they're just going to go over there, measure it, send her the bid, which is what most people do. And that's, if that's your stick, then do it that way.
But you're going to do things a little differently.
Yes.
With different tact, and you should be a standout guy. Even though she doesn't have anybody in the door, you're doing it different. So
absolutely. Because, digitally, I'm going to be in her house. Digitally, I'm going to be telling her how we do things, because this is no different than any other bid that we go to. I mean, there's 160 gutter companies in the Austin area, and that's who we're competing with on a day-to-day basis. And all of them, not all of them, but the majority of them, they go to the house, measure it. Okay, we'll see you later. We'll send you a bid in the email in the next, week or two. Right. And I give a bid on site when I'm there. And then I go over the bid with my customers and explain our installation process, our insurance, everything to them. And like I said, I educate my customers on the decision, the right decision for them to make.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to be honest. It might not be the right way, but I have a busy operation, and I'm in the sales role, and my schedule is nuts. I train my office staff to screen, and I need to sit. I'll do a one-legger. I don't need to have husband and wife, but I need an actual human being at the house to greet me. To me, it's my dance. It's the way I do the dance. Like, I can't dance alone, right? I need a partner to dance. So you have to respect my time and make an appointment with me. let me come by and assess the work you're going to hold me to the highest standard on. I need you there. I need access to the house. If you're going to be weird about it, it's my office staff's like, sorry, I can't set the appointment without somebody physically being there. It's like that scam on the internet. Oh, I'm busy. I'm on a ship in the middle of the East Asian Ocean, and I'll be home in 2 months. Just go by the house and take a look at it.
And
Now,
you get there and it's on the market.
somebody's unloading a moving truck, right?
Right.
But that's
No, and I get that, and I'm
definitely turned.
That's why I think this is going to work. That's why I think Paul's approach is going to work. He's leaf filter's already been there. I'm assuming leaf filter, leaf guard, right? So they've already been
one of those companies you see on TV, right?
There you go.
That's what she said. Or you don't want to say? I got you.
Yeah.
No, and I don't ever say when I'm with a customer, I don't use their name, right? They already have enough marketing. Why should I market for them?
Right.
I never use the big guy's name. I don't use the little guy's name. The only name that I use when I'm at a house is my name.
That's right.
Fair enough.
So they've already been there. They've already been price anchored at $50,000 and came all the way down to $15,000 for the job or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We know they're sticked. So now Kyle goes out there. Kyle records this video. Like, this is what I'm going to do here. Blah 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 blah. This is how it's going to work. This is how we do things. And he just talks about himself. He might be the only other person that this crazy gets to quote.
Right. Even if it's through the screen door, he's the only one showing up at the job.
Yeah. Everybody else is gonna be like, okay, yeah. I mean,
well, look at him. He's got she's peeking out the damn window. She's over there with binoculars through the window.
The neighbors are watching me. Oh, here comes one of those gutter guys.
He's got the skirt on. He's got the wrap truck or the Jeep. Like he's all tricked out. He looks the part. When he's walking around, he's got a little skip in his step with the clipboard. Like he's the guy. You're gonna hire him. Like he got it done.
That's what we do. So the other thing is I can do the video while I'm there and do the warm up and walk around and say, this is where I put the downspouts. We're going to install the splash blocks here, mitered corners, drip edge up there. We're going to install that on the inside of the gutter. That way it's a clear understanding of what we are going to do.
Well, that's a hell of a job to get on boots on the ground. That is great.
Right.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man, is like, I'd like to transition a little bit because I that is a cool story that, and a cool thing that we're going to do. And it's all kind of just coming to me and of how we're going to overcome this. And that's kind of how it happens, right? We have an objection and we have to find a solution to said objection. But
it's interesting in coming full circle. You're training a new salesperson. So it's a different dynamic when you're bringing in leads for staffers versus you as the owner running the lead, right? So she needs to learn by your example because hell or high water, she needs to run that lead or get her butt at that property. And so it's so good that you're leading by example, showing how it's done, because when you transition and she's running them, she's turning over every rock for you. So there's a lot to learn in this. This is great.
For sure. And Eric is so good too. Cause I have one salesperson right now. I run a couple of leads a month. I'm usually just running around being the owner and doing things that we do. And then now I'm bringing her in to kind of help, because I don't want him to, get burned out basically. He's running anywhere from 100 to 120 leads a month, which is a lot, it's 9-11-135 Monday through Friday. That's it takes a toll, man.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to transition real quick. I liked how you said, the name that you said of that business, right? When I go to a customer's house and they tell me that they've had multiple people there, it doesn't matter if it's the big guys that are out there or the little guys that are out there. I don't care if the price is low. I don't care if the price was high that they got. I only care about my price and my process. So when they start talking to me like, well, can you beat this price? It's like, well, not only am I not going to talk to you about how I'm not going to beat their price, but I'm also not going to match their quality. I'm going to do it my way because my way is the way that I do it. And that's how my price is dictated by my quality of material, my quality of installation, so on and so forth. So when they start talking about the big people that were there or the little people that were there, that's fine. I'm okay with people giving a $3, $4, $5 a foot price. I don't care. I'll look at the customer and say, can I get their number? You're telling me they're going to match my quality, they're going to match my material, and they're going to do it for that? Shoot, I can hire them. Yeah, I'll hire them. And then that gets them thinking like, holy crap, are they going to match his quality and his materials? And then they'll think, man, I want his stuff. I can't tell you how many people go, can you match this price, but I want it the way you do it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like that. You get what you pay for. Good ain't cheap, cheap ain't good. And then I am totally okay with coming in after, LF. Totally okay with them. They come in, they're $20 a foot or whatever they're at, and they're trying to get $5, $6, $7, $8,000 for a job that I'm at $11 a foot for, and it's coming out to $3, $4, $5,000, and they're like, holy crap, that's a lot less expensive than what the last guy had.
Right.
And you get a free discount, dude. I mean, I just gave them 50% off, and I didn't have to do anything. I'm okay with them running the leads before me.
I am too. I mean, I think, and I know you were there, but I feel like homeowners see through it. When they start dropping price so dramatically, you're like, dude, really, you were going to whack me for that? You really were going to try to gouge me for that? And that turns me off immediately as a consumer. But not everybody. A lot of people are gullible out there. They think, oh my God, I'm beating them up, man. I'm really getting a good deal now.
$1.8 billion says that they're doing something right.
Right.
They are.
Exactly.
I mean,
something
crazy.
I want to talk about with that, Kyle, when they have the cheap guys out there and they're like, hey, I already got, you walk up, right, almost immediately upon pulling into the customer's driveway. Oh, this is a $3,000, $4,000 job or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And you get out of the car and they start chatting you up. I already had a guy, he quoted me $1,500, another one $1,800. Think you'll be able to beat that? I don't know. Let's find out. But
Is that how you handle it? You said, I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah, I said, I don't know. Let's find out.
I would.
Because for two reasons.
I would not say, I don't know. Let's find out. I would, because then you're giving them hope that you might be that price, and then when you drop that $4,000 or $5,000 price, it makes them think maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about because he saw my house. And if that works for you, then that works for you, Colin. And I'm not here to tell you any otherwise. But what I do,
go ahead.
Huh?
It's your show.
So what I do is when they tell me that, I say, hey guys, I'm not sure what the price is just yet because we don't do estimates. Estimates are for bathroom and kitchen remodels. We give you a hard quote. We're doing an assessment here. I'll measure everything up. And if you give me 15, 20 minutes, I'll give you an actual price. And that is hard. And you can take it to the bank.
Yeah. Ours is a little bit different. And I'm intentional with saying that because I just want to engage them. And then through our process, like we spend minimum an hour with pretty much every customer, right? Minimum.
Yeah.
And before I even do a walk around with them, I spend 20 minutes with them going through client discovery.
Good warm up.
It's good. Yeah, it works. But before we even do a walk around or take measurements, they're like, this is way different. Right.
Absolutely.
And that's the point. And then through our value stack presentation, I tell them an average gutter install on your house is going to be whatever, $2,500. If I know I'm going to be at $3,000, $2,500. You'll find guys that'll do it for less. You'll find guys that'll do it for more. Right. But the average, you'd be about $2,500 on this. They're like, oh, I already got quotes for. Yeah, I know. You told me you got quotes for less, and I'm telling you the average. Because I do this every day.
I never anymore. I never throw out a number except for the actual estimate.
Oh, really?
You're going to say something either too high and scare them away or too low and shoot yourself in the foot.
This is my line. My line is, you know what? If you give me 15 minutes, 20 minutes, what I don't want to do is mismanage your expectations.
Right.
Because it's going to hurt me or it's going to hurt you. Let me just if you can just give me a few minutes, I'll give you the exact price to the penny.
Oh my!
If they keep pushing, Colin, for a price, tell them, look, guys, if you're looking for the cheapest quote, I might not be for you because we're not going to be the cheapest quote in the longevity of it, of the life that you live in this house. We will be the most affordable because you're not going to have to fix what I've done already.
That's right. one of our client discovery questions is, are you looking for the cheapest price or quality job on this? You can only pick one, right?
Yeah.
And they almost all of them say, somewhere in the middle. It's like, no, you only get to pick one. Everybody wants the best for the cheapest, but we know you can't get a Lamborghini for a Chevy Cobalt price, right? And they're like, yeah, I know. Okay, well, quality job or cheapest price. And if they say cheapest price, I'm like, all right, cool. And I grab my phone and I start scrolling. And I'm like, let me get you this guy's number. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah. And I'm like, his name is this. And if you can't get a hold of him, just go to like the VFW after 1:00 and you'll find him there. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah. Like, just this is a number.
Buy him a beer, warm him up.
And it's awesome. And they're like, no,
Yeah.
okay, maybe not the cheapest. Yeah.
What state?
Yeah, he's in Michigan.
You're in Michigan?
Yeah, I'm in Michigan. Yeah.
They have
Red or
pretty
blue
thick
area?
codes,
They have what?
strict codes.
I have strict codes.
We don't have
rich
any
people.
gutter. There's zero gutter code. There's some roofing code, but like with roofing, I don't have a single county that I serve that I have to pull permits in.
Wow, I have to pull permits on every roof.
Right.
I've never pulled a permit.
I have to seam tape all the plywood.
You have to seam tape all your plywood, not zip
That's
system.
the latest code change on roofing here. And it was like,
Hey, this is something that Seth is going to laugh about. We don't have to have insurance.
yeah, you guys carry guns on your hips, and
If an uninsured company is hired by a homeowner in Texas, and that installer, doesn't matter what it is, if they're uninsured, that homeowner is now a general contractor, and they're liable for loss of life, injury, and or damage to that property. The homeowner is.
I mean,
and only 10% of gutter companies in Austin will have insurance. Maybe 20, but still, not a whole lot.
all right, we got to move on. We're tight on time. I would love to continue all night.
Colin,
You want
Colin's turn.
info on this one? Who's the Colin's turn? All right, fine, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll clean out.
Yeah, I'll roll. I got two things I want to talk about that have been really, really cool.
You can only choose one. You can only have one. You can't have half of this one and half of that
Everybody gets one.
one.
All right, fine. I'll pick the one I told y'all I want to talk about then. In our gutter launch community, we've been talking real heavy about content creation. What I'm seeing a lot of is the bigger companies, and when I say bigger companies, I'm talking like 1.5 mil a year plus, right? Not the $10 million companies, right? Not the $1 billion companies, but the owner operator 1.5 mil plus, and they're really capturing the market with their content, whether that be on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, even. They're capturing their local market with their content. And I've got a few guys in Gutter Launch that are doing a really, really good job at this. And they're like,
Is this personal content or is this like,
both. So they'll post it on their personal page, but also like,
I mean, is it them in the video? Are they doing this like authentically, or is this like canned stock stuff?
No, this is them authentically, like selfie, grabbing their camera and recording a video, posting it on YouTube. And that's something I've been pushing hard is, guys, we all need a YouTube channel and we need to be posting to it a couple times a week.
Been talking about it for years. That's one of the big things I push.
Right. I mean, YouTube is owned by Google and is the second largest search engine in the world. So
Correct.
Why on earth are we not putting more content on that? Right?
George, our stickiest ad. How many views on YouTube? It's in the millions. 2.5 million views.
Right.
On my hyper local ad that is me hanging from the gutter.
Yeah.
2.5 million.
2.5 mil.
Everybody knows me. I literally like.
And that's it. So you show up to people's house and they're like, "Hey, you're the guy hanging from the gutter."
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's
Check it out. I'm going to hang on your gutters right now and pull them off.
Famous. Literally. And it's, But so, Colin, you're right on the money with that. So where are you taking this? Are you this
Yeah,
is
well, that's what's happening now. I mean, and guys that have only been doing it for a month and a half, 2 months, and they're like, "Holy cow, I'm already getting this." Hey, you're the guy I saw on TV. Hey, you're the
that's
guy I
what I'm doing
saw
a lot
here.
of it lately.
And they're like, "Yeah," and they have so much more authority. It doesn't matter that somebody else showed up and quoted $1,000.
It's what's called assumed authority.
It is.
Because you are flexing and you have a job site behind you, it's assumed you are the effing man.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And
If
there's
you go
nobody else
back,
there to compete with you because nobody else is doing that type of ad concept.
That's it.
if you go back pre-YouTube days, that's what putting your face on a billboard was for.
Yes.
You're right.
Just because
Sure.
when you go up to a job, people have seen you before, and there's like there's a whole series of walls that aren't there.
That's it.
You're like you might as well be family because you're in the you're in the back of their mind. They've seen you before. When they see you, they're recalling your face, not seeing it for the first time.
This is George. I was at a job site one time for Frank taking photos, and they said the reason why they hired Frank was because they felt like they knew him. They seen all the videos and they felt like they knew.
That's it.
You're part of the family.
So darn important. And in a
10
world where,
touches.
at least,
Yeah.
and in a world where everything is this, right? Like, yeah, we can get to know each other pretty well on Zoom or on Facebook or whatever.
Story.
But when you can immediately connect with people, it's a big deal. So
Yeah.
that's what we've been pushing really hard, and we're having a lot of guys are having a ton of success with it. It's just radically changing the game, and I think in the coming years, those producing content will be the ones left in business.
Hey, I did a presentation at GutterCon a couple years ago, and it was all about content creation, branding yourself, and it's the difference. The problem is nobody wants to do it, and there's a number of reasons why they don't want to do it. One, they're camera shy. Two, they don't have the time. Three, they don't have the inclination or the energy. It's definitely it's an undertaking. It's definitely an investment in yourself, and for a lot of people, getting out of that that cocoon, that fear of the camera. The camera is definitely overwhelming at times, but once you break through that, it's gravy. You know.
Right. Well, we live, like our trade. Everybody's so proud of the work that they do, and I mean, think about Seth. All right, so Seth, a year ago, we didn't really see much of you, but you, other than like you posting cool work or whatever, but we see your work, but not you. And so how do we like get people? Maybe you can lean into this because you're obviously like guru when it comes to everything install. But getting on the camera and putting that out there is a totally different ball game. And we're so proud, and we want this like level of perfection, like you do with your installs. And so it's like, okay, well, I can't do it with just my iPhone camera. I need to get this camera. Which one's the best? And you spend 3 weeks figuring out which camera's the best.
He went through all of that. He went through all of this.
Right. So how can we fast forward that? Because it doesn't need to be perfect.
Well, Colin, you're going to bring that to life in the school. No, we're going to do some coursework on this
I
stuff.
think one of the biggest things that kind of held me back, and I think that holds a lot of people back, and this is a little bit of a pivot, so don't throw me off. But if you don't have any metrics for your, say, close rate, then you're not going to see. You're like, people aren't going to call you. You're not going to get a phone call every day. Like, I saw this video that you did. If you're tracking some metrics about how you typically sell, you'll see the difference.
I disagree. First of all, you definitely have to track your metrics, but there's the branding is twofold. One is a direct lead. The other is just brand awareness and brand recognition. That's done subliminally. So you need to have ads running all the time, and they may not generate leads, but they, like you said earlier, Seth, they see your face, they recognize you, and then somehow, some way later on in their life, you pop up again, and they're like, they're already sold because they're like, that guy, it's him again.
For me, I don't push. This is kind of weird because I don't push content to customer base, which, I mean, you can all laugh at me for that.
Yeah,
I actually
their own
push
strategy.
that.
Well, there's
I
certain content to push. Like I don't do all my Cowboy Collins stuff to my customers. I mean,
Right.
to Gutter Launch customers, but not to people I'm selling. I'm not going to preach out how to sell better and then go do it to my.
I keep my Facebook page pretty full of. I'm not on it every single day, but probably every 3 days I have a new post.
You post your work on your personal, and you do a nice job with it.
I do it on my personal all the time, but on my company page, I do it probably every 3 days or so. I keep a video going. It does work, and as far as like the hump of like not being perfect, that's a really difficult one. I'm not necessarily a perfectionist, but I'm crazy OCD, and so
Yeah.
I like Frank said, I had to go shop for everything and rebuy stuff and reshoot videos over and over again.
Georgie more than me, and I, kind of pulled him through this, and he made it. He ran the marathon and climbed all the hurdles, and here you are, Seth, on the other side of
But,
it,
and
doing it.
one of the big things is you got to be able to like. I don't have thick skin, period, but you got to deal with some tomatoes, and so
That's all part of the game, right, Colin?
yeah.
It's all,
And,
all part of the
just
game.
I wanted to say something. This is crazy, Seth, but a couple of years ago, I think it was McDonald's during the Super Bowl. They did a blip advertisement that was like $1 million. It literally popped up for 1 second and then went away, and their sales went up 20% the next day.
Yeah,
because of a blip. It's subliminal messaging. People don't realize it. We see this stuff all the time, but
so I run my ads ad nauseum, right? On purpose, and then I rest them. I stop them, and I just rest them for a couple months, and then they don't see me. But I'm running other ads. But like my main hanging gutter guy campaign, we'll rest it for like 3 months. Then we come back and put it on blast, and then we're back. And I mean, it is a whole psychology behind the whole thing. There's so many avenues. I think the baseline is what Colin said, which is just start with making the damn content. Like get the content in the can and then figure it out. You might need a pro to help you run the ads and place them and even post produce them and chop them up and dress them.
You don't believe that. Just go live. Just go live.
Go live. Oh, you know who did a great job with it? Big Scott. Big Scott, are you watching? Scott Malashis. Scotty, his strategy is so organic. It's Scott shows up on his job sites. He says the same thing, and he's going to strangle me when he sees me. But he's like, "Good morning, Joliet. Scott Malashis, Elite Gutter. Today we're installing black gutter on a red brick house." And he's just, and I do this kind of stuff too, but I try to be a little I'm a little campier, and I try to be a little bit more colorful. But Scott's got his big handsome face, and he's running around showing the house. His guys are all over the roof and all over the gutters. And you see activity and you see brand new gutters and he's telling you about it and he's out of his Scott, you got to get back to it. He hasn't been doing it lately, but he was on a hot run and that's all it takes. You don't have to be some movie star. You don't have to be endearing and funny and humorous and wearing the best clothes. You just have to be real and you have to showcase what it is you're trying to sell. And that is enough to be better than the next guy.
Tripping up makes you human too. That's the thing that people always hate is like when you say like, I know Seth, you probably say something and trip up on a word and like, oh, I got to delete this whole video and start over now. And you're like 30 seconds from finishing it. And I have that same problem too. As y'all know, I did like 20 takes on a video and that was driving me crazy.
It's all
sometimes,
and that'll be a distant, memory.
Absolutely. But when you make a mistake and you trip up, it's okay because everybody knows that we're all human and, the only person that's perfect is Jesus. So
I literally tell my videographer, like, he'll send me something for proof. And I'm like, hey, like, I had that one mistake at this point. Like, you should put that in there. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, just put that in there.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Like, when I meet people in person, whether it's at GutterCon or one of our events or whatever, they're like, man, I just feel like I know you for forever because I've just been watching your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. And then they meet me and they get to hang out and they're like, you're literally the same person that you are on camera. Yeah. Like I don't put on a show. I got enough going on up here. I can't be another whole separate person over there.
We're not catfishing people, bro.
One
Right.
last tip for the guys that are at home listening, and I've said this in presentations before. It's so simple, but it's so powerful. Just remember when you're doing these selfies, it's you and the camera. Just record yourself. Who cares? No one's going to see it until you share it. It's on your phone and it's saved on your phone. And if it's shit, you could delete it and then start again and start again and start again. That's how you get over that fear. Is you just keep cutting video and then you'll go, oh wow, that wasn't so bad. That one was pretty good. I could use that one, and you just delete the rest. And who cares if you have 100 that are garbage? No one is ever going to know. You're not going to get embarrassed. No one cares. The only way to do it is just run the damn camera and take attempts. And it's like practicing a speech in the mirror and while you're brushing your teeth. Same idea. No one's there except you and the toothbrush. Who cares?
Another little thing is that this is something that took me a while to get the hang of, but our customer base doesn't have the technical knowledge that we do. So it doesn't have to be like,
right.
You don't need what I consider good educational content is not.
Back to Colin's point, right? Assumed authority. It's assumed you're the guy. If you put a lab coat on and a stethoscope around your neck, I'm assuming you're a doctor and you're probably a pretty good one. Like you just, I don't know.
What I mean is like, if you're showing off like, here's K-style gutter that we're hanging today, that's still good content.
Right.
It is.
And the other thing too,
doing that.
To your point, Seth, and I train this to my sales guys. If you trip up, keep going. They don't know. The homeowner doesn't know you made a mistake.
No.
Just keep going and just overcome it. If you said something stupid, be like, wait, hold on, that's not right.
You got to spell it.
Yeah, you just keep going. You're the only one that knows that you said something that was a little left, right?
Clarify it later.
I take things up one notch on my content that my customers or prospective customers are going to see. And I do get in. Well, I do big drainage systems and stuff. So I will take things up one notch and I get into some technical realms just to kind of flex my knowledge a little so that they're like, okay, I have a big water problem at my house. I trust this guy knows the science behind it. I trust he's gonna do the job the right way instead of just being like, well, here we are with, I have to flex a little bit, but I don't get into like
I certainly wouldn't not flex, but just for someone who's starting, if you're not hanging copper, if you're not doing half round or something, still film your K-style jobs and post them on your Facebook and your YouTube. Like, here's what we're doing today. It's still good content.
You're judging
people love seeing it.
You're judging by the aesthetic. They're not.
People never get tired of seeing gutter come out of a machine.
100%. They don't understand it.
If you TikTok or Instagram or YouTube gutter, the number one video always is literally just watching a piece of gutter come out of a machine. It's that simple. There's a special website, and I'm drawing a blank on it now. askthepeople.com. And you just type in gutters, and it'll give you 100 different things that people like, the top search queries on gutters. And you just answer those questions. That's it. If you're like hitting that, like, what do I talk about? And it's so second nature to us. Sometimes we get in our own heads and think that, oh, people don't care that I use this sealant. People don't know what a crimp is. Like, people don't know how downspouts fit together. We got to crimp one end. Like, they don't know. No. And it's actually really intriguing to them. They're like, oh, that's how that works. Like, they will be so enthralled by the simplest thing.
Even if you're really bad at it, because I see this all the time. Even if
I see those threads, right, where they're just getting fried. We're like, are you kidding? Like, you really are putting a video together on that? Like, it's unbelievable.
Oh, I'm terrified to put anything on any of the pages because I just see everybody get wasted.
Yeah, better. Yeah, you don't put it on the gutter installers pages. You put it on your own pages, and your customers see it and they buy from you.
That's it.
So,
right. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They don't know that you're putting a screw through the face of your Z flashing. Like, they're not going to judge you. They're going to be like, "Oh, that copper's sexy. Yeah, I need that on my house." Right?
The whole point here for everyone is make content.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree.
Frank, you got 3 minutes. Sorry about that.
I'll keep it short and sweet. What did I do this week? I had today's Thursday. Yesterday, I had a very cool happening. So we do a lot of different things from the marketing side. Back when I was younger, man, I was running around like a lunatic. I became an AIA certified instructor. So I put on lunch and learns for architects. I thought that would be a slick angle, and it was, but it was architects are a pain in the ass. They're really hard to win over, but I would win them over. But it was a big investment on my time, and I was buying them lunch, and it was just like this whole thing. So one of the strategies we've been talking about in the office, our office staff, was let's attack realtors. And I've done this before successfully, but I've gotten away from it for years now. And our advertising channels, our marketing strategies work, and we have solid lead gen. But I'm like, let's take it to the next level, and especially with drainage, because there's a lot of very high margin services we do. I have a big vacuum machine, a commercial vac truck with a boom arm, and you work it with remote control and a 600-gallon spoils tank. We suck catch basins out. Everybody in my area, big houses, big driveways, 3, 4, 5 foot deep catch basins. So anyway, we've been talking about getting in with the realtors. I have a really good family friend. My wife and I socialize with her and her husband. She's a high-end realtor. She's a beast. She works for Compass Realty in Greenwich. They have a high-end office. These guys are selling $5 million houses all day. So she said, "Hey," and we talked about this a year ago. "Hey, maybe I could get you in the office and you could come present to the whole office staff. Once a month, we have a team meeting. Everybody comes in. There's about 40 agents. I could get you in front of them. You can only talk for 15 minutes. I'm like, 15 minutes? She's like, 15 minutes, and you can hang around. And then, if people have questions, you could kind of branch off and go have chats. I'm like, I'm in. Like, whatever. Just sign me up. So she finally circled back about a month ago. I was texting, I'm in the middle of work. Yeah, I'll do it. Give me a date. Okay, it was yesterday. So I put it on the calendar. She said, do it, bring a slideshow, whatever you want to do. You want to present digitally. I am all about that. I'm a digital guy. I love slideshows. If I'm speaking, I'm used to preparing them. I have a great staff that they'll prepare it for me. Long story short, it just got away from me. We talked about it in the office, and I just never saw it through. I never created a slideshow. But I in my head, I'm like, I only have 15 minutes. Let me just kind of, instead of going through some quick, speedy slideshow and boring the shit out of them, let me just use my gift of gab and just kind of speak on what I do, endear myself to them. So, I'm not shy. I could get up in front of a crowd. So I get there the day before. It was supposed to be a 10 a.m. presentation. All of a sudden, sorry, we're going to move to 9 a.m. Now, we don't know if a lot of the agents are not going to show up. They're used to the 10 a.m. The 9 a.m. might be too early. We still want you to come, but if you don't want to and you want to hit a 10 a.m. meeting, we understand. We'll reschedule. I'm like, no. Just keep it in place. I'll be there. So I show up. I'm dressed well. I'm in like a button-down shirt and, contractor pants, but nice pants and boots. Like, you got to look the part. And there's 40 people in the room, right? Like they were like, wow, we got like full attendance. Everybody's here. So I got up and I kind of, at this point we are in gutters and we're in roofing and we're in drainage. So hyper locally, I have to brand everything under one umbrella. So Hennigan Services is my hyper local brand. With that website, with that business card, I could kind of speak on all the things we do and not have to like pigeonhole into different businesses and niches. So I give a whole, spiel, and I really, I found time in like the 2 days leading up because I didn't prepare, but I'm like, I could wing this. It's fine. No slideshow, no preparation. Thank God they had this big TV. They put up my Connecticut Stormwater, ctstormwater.com website. And that George built that site. He's built all of our sites. There's a rolling video on the banner on the website. So that was up behind me. And it's, it shows, big action shots, heavy equipment. We're digging trenches. I'm standing on Coltech chambers. It was really cool. And so that's going on behind me. I do the thing. Everybody's engaged. I'm getting all kinds of questions, and there's a lot of changes happening on the municipal side with local laws. Drainage is a big thing. It's enforced. You have to have it on any kind of new impervious surface or new construction. So I'm answering all these questions. My strategy was, and this is for I recommend anybody at home, any of you contractors, get your way in the door at a real estate firm. Pick the high end one, the best one around. Get in, because they all do this. They bring people in to educate and train. They enrich themselves. They're smart like that. And I get in the door, and the strategy is, what can I do for you as the realtor? Let's talk about how I could help your buyers. Let's talk about how I could help your sellers. That's how I strategized on my presentation. And they said, "Oh yeah, well that makes sense. So what can you do for buyers?" And I'm like, "Well, the average home sale in my town last year was like 3.2 million. So these houses are bananas, and they have crazy elaborate drainage systems, and they're constantly failing. And then the big replacement cost. I'm doing a job I started yesterday, or we started on Monday. $118,000 stormwater system. It's 13 years old. It failed. It was put in wrong. They screwed the whole thing up. The homeowners are all pissed off. I'm the whipping boy, but it's a big expense. So I'm able to tell these realtors these cautionary tales. I tell them about, protect your buyers. Hire us to come out and do these preliminary inspections. We'll get in all the drains. We'll just make sure your buyer is buying something sound and there's no booby traps or skeletons in the closet. We do roof inspections. When we do our roof inspections, we do rain gutter inspections. Oh, wow. So long story short, it really, when I was done, three women ran out the door behind me and queued up behind me. One of them grabbed me. "Hi, let me talk to you about this project. I have a client. We're selling this house." I turn around. There's two women sitting behind her, waiting to talk to me. I'm like, awesome. So I deal with all three of them. They all have the whole office has my business card. Literally, my phone blew up all day yesterday. If I read you the text, "That was amazing. Oh my God, we totally need your services. Get us a PDF flyer, a digital flyer. We're going to give it to all of our customers." We got my office set 7 appointments in the last 24 hours based on that presentation. 7. And now all these realtors are praising my firm. All the things you do are what we need. It's going to open the floodgates. Now, and my realtor friend was there, and she's awesome. And she's like, "Look, I'm glad she could have been greedy, yeah, keep it in the family here." She's like, "Obviously, you got to go talk to all the other real estate agencies in town." I'm like, "Obviously, it's just making the time and working smart." So what's the takeaway here? We could spend, $200,000, $400,000 a year in marketing, and you get leads, but they're kind of not that warm, right? Or you can go to the realtor. And by the way, so this is a secret. Where are the transactions in our world? On the buy and the sell side, it's generally revolves around home sales. New homeowners are like, "All right, what do we got to fix? Do this, do that." Usually gutters are that's a hot topic. Usually your buyers, your rain gutter system customers are 1 year new in the house. For me, it is here anyway. Same thing on the sales side. You're trying to prepare a house for sale. You've been neglecting the maintenance. The gutters look like crap. It's a quick and easy way to kind of clean up the aesthetic of the house, curb appeal, outline the roof, brand new gutter system. Boom. So, there's so much business that could come from realtors. Realtors could also be the enemy and gigantic time wasters and try to use you just for pricing to leverage a deal. You know what I mean? But it's all in how you address it. So if you have the chutzpah to call a real estate firm, you want to ask for the office manager. That person is head chief in charge. They take care of all of the agents inside of the firm. They're in charge of the office and playing mama bear. They're the ones that set up these meet and greets, these lunch and learns, and they all do it. You just have to ask. They're not going to come knock on your door. You need to say, "Hey, I have something for you guys," and believe it or not, they'll let you in. And guess what? It's all just the time invested. You're not spending money on shoot the content, but it's not like you're putting money behind ad spend. And it's amazing how effective it is. So, I'm like, wow, I'm such an idiot. I used to do this all the time. I can't believe I haven't done this in so long. And even the girls in my office are like, holy shit, like what did you do yesterday? I'm like, I just showed up and talked about what we do. And, they're just like flying off the handle with opportunities here. So that was my.
That's how. That's cool, man. I mean, that's how I got started too. I had an office at the Keller Williams building because it was cheap. It was $350 a month, all bills paid.
Wow.
And I just got in with all the realtors. And there was a roofer there, there was a contractor there, marketing person, and $350 a month, all bills paid for an office because my wife was working from home, and I needed to not be in the same room as her all day. And then now she works here in the same room with me all day.
You would see how that came full circle on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Go back to basics sometimes, right?
I'm stoked. It actually, I'm grinding here. I'm exhausted. We're doing so much and so stressful. But then you have a moment like that, and I'm like a little wind in my sails. Oh, right, man. Let's get right back at this.
Right. And that's as business owners, we need to be focused on those type of activities, right? It's hard. We get bogged down in a lot of the other stuff, but that filled your cup. You had, like you just said, wind in your sails, right? B, it filled your schedule for your guys, right?
Yeah.
It's like, holy smokes, why can't we do more of that? And when I do those networking days, it's the same thing. It's like, gosh, how do I make this happen every day?
Okay. I set my wife up on a similar scenario with a real high-end landscaping firm that's local. They probably have 80 trucks that go out.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lot of these companies now. If you guys look, Turnover Rocks, private equity is buying all of these big-ass high-end landscaping. Go to like the high-end neighborhoods, and you'll see that there's these, franchised-looking firms out there. So there's a project manager that loves me. I've saved a lot of his clients' properties on drainage, and he sings my praises. And he's like, look, we have all these gutter cleanings, and they have hundreds and hundreds of clients. All these gutter cleanings. I sat down with my wife. I'm like, we have thousands of gutter cleanings that we do, but I still hate them. I still hate gutter cleaning. But I'm like, do we want to do this? I said, here's a strategy. Let's just get our feet on because it's all multi-million-dollar properties. Let's make Mike happy, take his gutter cleanings. He's got 100 right now he wants to give us the book of. And let's just make sure he's okay with us looking at the drainage and looking at the roof, because they don't do roofing, and look at all the stuff that we do. And now all of a sudden we have this free access to hundreds of their clients. So she's like, I'll take him to lunch. I wasn't even invited. She took his ass to lunch, warmed him up. He's like, I'll give you all the cleanings. So we started that 2 weeks ago. She's already calling me in the middle of the day. These people got ground drain problems, catch basins filled with crap, cedar roof that's rotting and needs to be replaced. And this guy's just like, do it. We don't do that stuff. So you have to think outside of the box. It's really hard to do that because all we do is look at feeds all day that tell us, do this, buy ads this way, buy Facebook ads. Everybody thinks they have to be in the box. You don't. You could actually not spend $1 on advertising. I don't recommend it. I mean, you got to do it all. But man, you work a couple of these angles and you'd be amazed at the doors that open up.
That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Brittany actually had a great idea that she brought up the other day. She said, hey, I'm just going to go get like a box of Tiff's treats and take it to a roofer and just be like, hey guys, just wanted to drop off some cookies. Thanks for the business. And if they go, we don't do business with you, then she'll go, oh, but you will.
Not
and
yet.
Then she's just going to leave. Yeah, not yet. You're not. And she's just going to leave a box of cookies with the business cards. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We get work out of it.
Those are for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the little things. I mean, and that's what's beautiful about, being a business owner, having salespeople hitting the streets and having installers out there is that our job is to actually generate the business for our business, right? Yep. Like a lot of times we get bogged down with all the, tumultuous day-to-day kind of stuff. But sometimes you got to go back to basics, man, and just go hit the pavement and just put your face out there.
Hey, it's no different than creating content. What we are, we're not salesmen. We're professional speakers. That's literally what we are. We get paid to speak. So
Yep.
either you're a bad professional speaker or you're a great professional speaker. But if you don't understand that you're a professional speaker, you better figure that out quick. And you
You're
better
losing
be
the
okay
game.
with that goddamn camera on you, and you better be okay talking to 40 realtors in a room, and you want to seek those opportunities out because you're a professional speaker, and that's what professional speakers do.
Yeah,
Right.
overcome objections.
Yeah, convey a message.
Absolutely.
That's really it.
That's
No,
it.
absolutely. No, killer.
Dumping rain here right now. We have a metal roof on this building. Dumping rain. I'm so excited.
Every time that I've been on a podcast we've had with you or watched a podcast, it rains or it's gonna be raining. Yeah,
Man, rain.
The
Man.
rain
I love
pro,
it.
man. He's the rain pro.
Yeah,
So,
the rain.
you
Pro.
Yeah, rain pro. Just I'm gonna walk outside and Frank's gonna be hanging on my case towels.
Why don't Colin? What do you think? I think as we wrap, I think maybe we should maybe just touch on the school and all this excitement and the stuff we're doing here as a team. And everybody's working so hard; it's hard not to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we got so much getting put into the drive. I know Seth is busting his butt. Kyle's like, guys, I'm on set. I'm on take 27 on this one. And
Throw my business out there, man.
Did you see my video file this week?
What's that?
Do what?
Did y'all peek in my folder this week on the Dropbox?
I haven't looked into this.
No.
You gotta go see that. I've been working hard.
Appreciate you, man.
You have been.
I got on my guy last week. I was like, yo, we got to get a bunch of stuff into this. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I'll get a bunch of stuff in. All right, cool.
Saw that drop.
So, yeah, we got a lot more coming. He's like, you tell me what you want in there. I'm just filling out that list, but a ton of sales, marketing. Frank, you and I should probably collaborate on content.
Yep, 100%.
And get some stuff going on that too. So.
I'm also going to put a drainage area for those that want to segue and start to parlay into drainage. Let's start, and it's going to be 101 based. It's really like, this is how you do it. This is the equipment you need. This is how you talk to gutter clients and then get the drainage sales and teach you guys how to warm that up, because it is a viable market. There's not a lot of guys doing it, and you're already there and you're conveying water from the gutter to the downspout to the ground, and there's your opportunity. Or you're sending it into a ground drain and just pretending you don't care when there's money in that ground drain. What the hell are you doing?
Yep.
I'm going to show you how to get that money out of that ground drain. It's like hunting leprechauns.
I'm always looking for a reason to have heavy equipment too. So,
You heard that, right? That was like medium. That wasn't that good.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, but I mean, look, every little bit. You guys are killing it. When this thing is up, goddamn, George, when is this thing going to be up? A couple weeks? What's Philip's last? The framework is amazing. The interface is so it's content, a ton of content, quizzes, right? To make sure you actually absorb some of this content. More content, quizzes. You'll be able to search based on your instructor, and it's all going to be free. This is the beauty of this crew. You guys are the give back crew. That's what we came together on and agreed on. Was it's free. This is our community give, right? We're all doing well. We're all doing well. Let's level up. It's like going to church, man.
We love our industry.
Hell yeah, we do. I've been dreaming about this for 23 years, man.
This is killer, man. I'm so excited. So excited about this. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to radically change the employee training game.
Yeah.
It's about time, too.
That curve is going to be very different. It's not going to be this like slow, gradual. 3 years in, my guy can be a lead guy now, right?
You guys with staff, we know how hard it is to train. We know. Seth knows. That's why Seth is doing all of these highly technical videos. No one's created this stuff, and the industry needs this. And we're not interested in charging you for it. We don't care. We want to make sure you have it. We're trying to level up, baby. It's about time. We're bringing everything up, and we're doing it from our hearts. So
And
hopefully you guys
it's
smell that when you're watching this stuff.
it's something really cool too that you never think about. But when you're training, I mean, I know that whenever I'm training a salesperson, I can feel myself remembering things that I forgot, and it helps you relearn stuff. So when we're doing these courses and these trainings and these videos and stuff, it's literally reteaching us stuff, and we're all raising with you, and that's what's exciting about this. We can all rise together.
Going back to the basics, right? Getting out
Yeah.
and quit depending on the ads and start pounding the ground, And
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how often I get too smart for my own good, right? And I forget half the things that I learned, and it's like, God. I mean, I just said it a few weeks ago.
I love when you say "gal." I mean, I love it.
Wait. I thought I misheard a word. What's gall?
It's like "gal," but short for
Oh,
yeah. What was that TV show back in the day? Andy, he was a cop. Barney Fife and Andy. The hell's that?
Andy Taylor.
yeah,
Andy
the Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffith show. He used to say "gal." Man, Colin, I love you, dude.
Golly!
Holy.
Good for golly every now and then.
I curse like a trucker, right? This is the New York City in me. Colin is he's a pure gentleman. He's not a slob like me, man. He knows how to curb his tongue.
I try to.
That's why I have to be really. I have to be really quiet on these podcasts.
Well, we're just big mouths. That's why. It's all over.
What's quiet? What does that mean?
Oh yeah. Loud noises. All right, I got to go like wipe butts and read storybooks and stuff. I don't know. I got stuff to do.
I think I'm gonna go play poker.
Oh,
let's go.
Alice.
Let's go.
All right, hey, it was great.
After this, man, John.
Good job, y'all. This was good.
Later,
Great to hang out again.
All right,
See
Of course.
later
Bye,
out
gutter people.
next week.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
See y'all.